These are 10 of the best farms for Minecraft Bedrock, so settle in and let's build. This is the ultimate iron farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and it's going to produce around 320 to 380 iron per hour, so with that, settle in and let's build. First thing you want to do is find a nice area to build your farm in and dig an 11 by 11 hole. Make sure you're at least 150 blocks away from all other villages, villager breeders, iron farms, villager trading centers, villager crop farms, all villager things. And after digging out your 11 by 11 hole, we are going to go into one of the corners and count 3 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to break this block. And just to make sure, we're going to go to the other side and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, and break this block. And then we're going to create a 5 by 5 square. And if you have a 5 by 5 square in the center, then you have built your proper 11 by 11 square. We're then going to dig out this 5 by 5 so that it is going to be 5 blocks deep. So this should be a 5 by 5 by 5 block hole. And in case that was confusing, you can make sure everything is built properly. If this wall is 3 blocks deep, this wall is 3 blocks in depth all the way around the 5 by 5. And then inside here, we're going to place down beds on both sides of the farms. It doesn't matter which side you place them on. If from these beds you count 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, then you know that everything is built properly and we can continue on. So going down here, bouncing on the bed, we're going to remove this center strip of blocks, and we're going to remove the blocks underneath of these beds, allowing us to create double-decker beds just to save some space and to bring us to a total of 20 beds. So we're going to place down the beds on both sides of the farm now. Grab your blocks and place down blocks in the center strip here, just so that way nothing spawns down here. And then we're going to fill in the entire floor. We're going to come back and place down workstations in a minute, but for now, let's just go ahead and fill this entire thing in. We're then going to grab our fist, I guess, and we are going to punch the walls and remove 1 block depth. So that way we have a 7 by 7 platform on this layer. And again, there should be 1 block separating this layer and the spawn platform. So once we are done removing this, we are going to place down our workstations now. You can use any workstation you would like. I'm going to use fletching tables. Absolutely no reason other than I'm choosing to use fletching tables. And we're going to place down 3 going across here, 3 going across here, and 3 going across here. Bring us to a total of 9 workstations on the floor, leaving like a 1 block strip. And what this is going to do, it's going to allow for no overcrowding, so villagers will always have access to their workstations and will be happy. We're then going to place down workstations on both walls here, and we're going to again leave 1 block gaps. And on this last wall, we are only going to place down 2. I leave this center open, that way it's kind of symmetrical, but this really has absolutely no rhyme or reason. Like, that's not the front of the farm. You can literally choose whatever direction you want to flow the water, but yeah. So once we have all of our workstations in place, we're going to place down a torch in the center of the room, and we are now ready to get our villagers in here. You only need to get 2 villagers inside of the farm, and then we can go ahead and breed them up. And actually, getting villagers into this farm has never been simpler because you can now put a lead on a boat, allowing you to transport both 2 villagers at once and not having to use stupid pistons to get everywhere. So we are now just going to drop down here and bring them into our little enclosure. And we're just going to bring them down here. Oh, threw them right at my face. Go ahead and disengage that lead. We can go ahead and remove the boat. From here now, they are going to turn into Fletchers. And if we go ahead and give them some potatoes, they are actually going to breed. So for now, I'm just going to give them 2 stacks of potatoes. Realistically, you're going to need more. But they will eventually start breeding. They're going to have a baby. Then we'll have 3 villagers, then 4, then 5, then 8, then 20. Eventually. So we're just going to breed these guys up until we have 20 villagers. And as long as you don't give them over 8 stacks of crops, they are eventually going to breed. And if you give them some space, things tend to work out, because I do believe they genuinely do get distracted if you are nearby. But as you can see, they both agree, and now we have a baby villager running around. So I'm going to get 20 villagers in here. But honestly, you can just let them breed while you continue building the farm. And truthfully, I'm just going to let them keep breeding and continue working on the farm, because if there are less than 20 villagers in the farm, that means that iron golems won't spawn, and that is going to make building a little bit easier. So the next thing we're going to do is pick the front of the farm and place down 2 hoppers like this. I've chosen to take a look at my trailer and my garden, so I think this is going to be the front of my farm. From here, I'm going to grab glass and create a giant glass wall that is going to be 3 blocks tall for now. And then I'm going to grab my leaves and I am going to place down leaves going all the way around, leaving a 1 block gap in between the glass and the leaves. That is a whole ass family. Oh my god, they have been busy. So yeah, we're just gonna let them do their thing, and we're gonna move on now. So once you have your leaves being 3 blocks tall, and same with your glass, we're gonna grab our observers now and place down observers going in between these slots right here. Now, if you're wondering what the block choice for the walls is, it is actually very well thought out. This is a 9x9 spawn platform for the iron golems, and by having the entire wall be made out of transparent blocks, we're basically upsizing it to an 11x11 platform, but again, only 9x9 being spawnable. But if these were a regular block like cobblestone or dirt, then the actual spawn platform would be brought 1 block in, it would only be a 7x7. So this is extremely important that we replace the walls with leaves, and in the front here, observers are transparent blocks that won't catch fire. Glass is a transparent block that won't catch fire, but personally, I think that the observers just kind of border the glass and kind of make everything look a little bit cooler. All right, rant over. Now, the great thing about breeding them is that they actually won't start spawning iron golems until you have adult villagers that are working. So for now, we're just going to have cats spawning. So if you don't want to kill cats, then you should tame these 5 and bring them somewhere else in the farm, because we are going to tame 5 cats so that only iron golems spawn. But if you don't want to like try and lead these guys out, or if you do want to try and lead them out and not kill them, then go right ahead. But if you don't necessarily care, I guess, then you can kill them. I know some people really hate killing the cats, so I tried to give you guys an out there. But for now, we're just going to cover up that entire area so we have a nice flat spawn platform. We're then going to grab our signs, and we're going to place down a sign on the second glass, a sign right here, a sign right here, a sign right here, and then a sign right here, so that we have a fully encapsulated space so that we can place down a lava bucket, and that is going to be what we're using to kill off the iron golems. The next thing we want to do is get out of the farm, and now you have 2 options. You can either use something like a cobblestone wall, something not flammable, and wrap your entire farm in that, or we can build this 1 block higher, which I would do anyways because it kind of looks nicer. But once we build this 1 block taller, we're actually going to put a wooden fence going around the top, and that is going to keep things from falling in, like the pig. And that actually does matter, because that pig is going to stand on that hopper, and it's going to delay the iron golems from spawning inside of the farm. So it is important that we actually do keep mobs out. And I mean, you guys haven't seen the time lapse yet, but I did accidentally have 2 chickens fall in, and I do believe that they affected the rates slightly. So this fence is important. Once you have the fence in place, we're ready to hop inside of the farm now, and unfortunately, this pig has got to go. Again, if you care about the cats, you should probably lead them out now. We're going to place down 4 blocks on the edge, 3 blocks, 2 blocks, 1 block. Same thing over here, 4 blocks, 3 blocks, 2 blocks, 1 block. And we can now place down a water bucket in both corners of the farm, and then we can go ahead and remove all of the blocks that are supporting the water, because after you have flown the water, these blocks are actually just taking up valuable space on the spawn platform. So now we officially have a 9x9 spawn platform. And yeah, if you want to get the cats out now, we're going to build an AFK room, and then we can actually just push them through. And on the outside of the farm next to the glass, we're going to dig out a 3x3 square here. But in fact, we can actually just leave the roof, because I realized we're going to leave that anyways. So we're going to leave a 2-block gap in line with the lava, and then we're going to dig down 3 blocks. So we can have a 2-block roof here, and then dig over. That's going to be our chest, and then we're going to dig out this area here, so that we can see the iron golems dying, and just make our AFK room a little bit more fancy. It's very important that this room is no taller than 2 blocks, or 2.5 blocks, so you could replace the ceiling with slabs if you wanted, but as soon as it becomes 3 blocks tall, you are then allowing iron golems to spawn inside this room with you. We're going to place down a chest right there, and let's just get rid of this while we're down here and make it a little bit nicer with a cobblestone floor. I say nicer, but then I use cobblestone. That's a bit of an oxymoron, but I actually kind of like the way that cobblestone looks. And then the last thing we have to do is throw a ladder and a trapdoor, which I guess were the only things I didn't grab for the farm. So we're going to place down 2 ladders, and on the top here, we're going to place down a trapdoor, so that way you're nice and safe when you go ahead and AFK and collect all of your iron. So you are now welcome to go ahead and remove this glass and free the little cats, or you can lead them with a cod. But there you go. So that way you don't have to kill those guys. And we were actually going to tame them. So let's go ahead and grab our cod now. And with the cod, we are going to tame both the cats. And these are going to take up the cat cap for the farm, which is very important. It is very important that you have 5 cats inside of this farm. So I'm going to tame 3 more, and we are going to be good to go. I feel like, I haven't watched Star Wars in forever, but I feel like Anakin when he goes to the Jedi Academy. And once you have 20 adult villagers, they are all going to be working. They cannot be green coats. They need to be able to have a job. And once you've made sure of that, you're going to see the iron golems start spawning almost immediately. And I really like the way that this iron farm looks. It is so cool, especially with the observers. That is such a... I hope you guys end up using observers because it does make the farm look significantly cooler. And yeah, for those confused, I actually only killed... I can't believe these words sound horrible. I killed off the baby villagers because I didn't really want to wait for them to grow up. But if you're in a survival world, then you should just let them wait to grow up. And it'll take about an hour or so for them to fully mature. And then the entire farm is going to work. But I'm going to go ahead and AFK for about an hour now and see how many iron we get. And I'll get back to you in a minute. Alright, it has been about an hour worth of AFK. This iron farm will produce over 350 iron per hour. It works in Minecraft Bedrock and couldn't be any easier to build. We had 2 accidental chickens walk into the farm, so RIP them. Let's take a moment to appreciate them. Send your condolences in the comments. Try and chase down that iron. So we managed to get 5 stacks and then 12. So 5 times 64 is 320. Plus 12 is 332 iron per hour. And we already have another one burning up. So this is definitely one of the faster designs I have made. Theoretically, I believe this farm is capable of making about 384 iron per hour. But even at 332, this thing is absolutely incredible. And yeah, this is the easiest AFK fish farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and it's gonna get you treasure loot, mending books, fish, XP, all of that fun stuff. So settle in and let's build. Alright, the first thing you're gonna do is remove a 4-block strip of blocks like so. We're gonna place down a double chest and run a hopper into that chest. We're then gonna go ahead and place down an iron trap door right here with a water bucket in the trap door. We're then going to place down a block right here, and then a block right here, and a block right here. Now, if you want to leave these 2 blocks, you can, or we can get rid of them to save on some resources. We're then going to place down a redstone torch on this block, a redstone dust right here. Then we're going to place down a tripwire hook, and then a string connecting the 2 of those. And just like that, you now have a working fish farm. So this is an incredibly easy design, and it is actually better than the fence post and pressure plate design, because what's going to happen is the bobber is going to fall onto the hopper, so it is impossible for you to miss a fish. And on top of that, this thing technically works on consoles as an automatic fish farm, because again, you will never miss your fish. So let me grab a fishing rod. All right, if you're playing on a device that has access to an auto clicker, this is what we're going to set it to. You're going to set it to 1200 milliseconds, set the mouse button to right click, and then your hotkey can be whatever you would like. All we have to do now is we are going to grab our fishing rod, and it's going to have Luck of the Sea 3, Unbreaking 3, Lure 3, and Mending 1 to have the absolute best rates. However, don't go out of your way to go and enchant a fishing rod, because as you can see, you are going to catch plenty of fishing rods, and you could easily put these into an anvil to create a god fishing rod like I have here. So I would not say that it's worth your time to actually enchant one of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand on the edge of this hopper like so, and we're going to aim for the edge of this hitbox right here. And oh, if you have sweaty hands like me, your hand is going to stick to the mouse. We're just going to go ahead and take the hand off now. Go ahead and start the auto clicker. And as you can see, we are just going to sit here and catch the fish here. But as you saw there, the fish bobber actually falls down onto the hopper, and then you are going to pick it up regardless of if you pull it in on time, because it actually gets pulled out of the water. So this is why it works on all versions of the game, because if you are using no auto clicker, let me just go ahead and turn that off. You're just going to go ahead and cast it, and as you can see, we can just do whatever, you know, walk around and just wait for it to catch a fish. the bobber has fallen, and then regardless, we can just go ahead and click it to collect. We're going to get the XP, and we are going to get the fish. If you don't want items ending up in your inventory, one, it shouldn't really happen. I was a little close, so I picked it up. But if you don't want that, just fill your inventory with a bunch of blocks, and then you won't pick up any items. But again, you're just going to stand on the edge of the hopper. You're going to look at the hitbox here on the edge. Go ahead and start your auto clicker. Take your hand off of your mouse, and it's just going to do its work. So I'm going to go ahead and AFK for the next 6 hours, which I already did, and we'll take a look at the drops. And after about 6 hours of AFKing, if we go ahead and look at what we've got here, you'll see that we filled up an entire double chest, and I think there are 2 mending books in here. There's lots of enchantment books for sure. I mean, we've got efficiency 4 and feather falling 4, power 4. Like, this is a crazy book. Loyalty 3, mending here, sharpness 3, efficiency 4, lots of fishing rods, lots of tools. And we filled up this chest halfway. So you can expect to fill up about 1 double chest every 4 hours with loot, depending on whatever drops you get. Obviously, if you get more unstackables, then you are going to fill up chests quicker. So I'd recommend 1 double chest per 4 hours of AFKing. And you'll also see we have 48 levels. That is, again, from 6 hours of AFKing. So the thing is actually a really good XP farm as well. This is the ultimate gold XP farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and it's going to get you over 1,000 gold and 100 levels every single hour, so settle in and let's build. First thing we want to do is find a nice open area to build a farm in, preferably far away from any mountains, and if you want to build over an ocean, you absolutely can, but this is a nice area, so I'm going to go ahead and build here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to build 72 blocks into the air using our scaffolding, and an easier way of doing that is by taking our Y coordinate, which is 64 blocks, and then adding 72 blocks to that, which would give us a total of 136. So we're going to place scaffolding all the way to Y level 136. And I feel like this goes without saying, but depending on where you built your farm, it is not going to be Y level 136 unless your bottom coordinate is 64. So you're going to have to do the math for yourself. We're going to go ahead and grab our blocks now, and at the top of the scaffolding post, we're going to create a giant rim. Well, I guess it's actually a rather small rim of 3x3 blocks here. And then from here, we're going to take our blocks again, and we're going to build out 4 blocks to the right, or whatever direction you want. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and fill in the rest of this platform. This is going to be where we AFK, and then we're going to grab our blocks again, and we're going to go out 3 more blocks, 3 more blocks, and we're going to have a 2x2 hole in the center here. So this is a 3x7 block slab, and then this little U-shape extension on top. And after building the AFK platform, we're going to climb down our scaffolding now, and we're going to count 6 scaffolding faces. So I hope that made sense. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that way we are 1 block lower. So we can go ahead and place down our block by highlighting the edge of the hitbox, just like that. Go ahead and climb up our scaffolding now. You'll see that we are on Y level 130. We're going to create a 3x3 rim going around the scaffolding. And just to double check, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scaffolding in between our 2 platforms. So that's going to be our AFK platform where we collect the XP. And down here is going to be the collection platform where all of the items are stored. We're going to extend this out to be 5 blocks wide. And then we want this to be 16 blocks long. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 blocks. Again, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and connect this up to create a giant platform where, again, our collection system is going to be. And we're actually going to be smelting the gold swords as well to get a little bit extra gold by smelting them into gold nuggets. Once you have your platform laid out like this, we can go ahead and grab our chests. We're going to come over to the edge of the platform here, leave a 1 block gap from the edge, place down a double chest, leave a 1 block gap. We're going to place down our double chest right here, give us a little bit more space, sorry about that. And then we are going to extend this out 1 more block by leaving a 1 block gap. Go ahead and finish it off, and this is what our chests should look like. We're now going to double up these double chests so that they are 2 chests tall. So that way we have a little bit extra storage, and if you want to extend these down, you absolutely can. You could literally extend this all the way down to bedrock and just use this for literal days. All right, there are 2 minor mistakes we need to fix. First off, I misspoke. This chest should be 1 block ahead of this smelting chest here, so go ahead and make that change. And then up here, we want to make sure that there is a 2 block gap here, and I accidentally extended the platform out one block too many at the beginning. So once you have made those two minor adjustments, we are ready to go ahead and move on. Again, I do apologize. One last way to make sure everything is set up properly is your last sorting chest should be directly under your AFK platform on the last block. Now that we have all of that set up, we are going to grab our blocks again, and we're going to create pillars 3 blocks tall in between each of the chests. We're then going to go around to the front and grab our stairs now. Make sure that these stairs are upside down, that way we can still open up the chests on the top here. We're then going to come around back and grab our packed ice, and on these 3rd blocks here, we're going to place down our packed ice, and then we are going to grab our hoppers now, and we're going to run our hoppers into the backs of all of these chests and all of these stairs. So we're just going to go ahead and finish this off. We now want to grab our blast furnaces, and we're going to come around here, place down 2 hoppers running into this bottom chest here. We're then going to grab our blast furnaces and place down 2 blast furnaces on top of those hoppers, 2 hoppers into those blast furnaces in the front, and then 2 hoppers running down into those blast furnaces. We then go ahead and set down a chest right here, which is going to be our fuel chest. And if you have leftover gold swords, which you probably will if you use this farm for a long time, you can easily build as many of these little smelteries as you would like. I'd rather just have the gold swords despawn, but if you really are hell-bent on smelting every single gold sword, then you can easily just extend this to have another super smelter right beside it. Okay, I hope that made sense. We're now going to grab our stairs, remove these 2 blocks and these 2 blocks as well, come around back and place down our pillars offset now, just like this. This is a little design change for you. And we're going to flip our 2 stairs upside down, so that way we can place down our levers to lock and unlock the hoppers, so that way you can collect the XP inside of the blast furnace. Right, and with those levers now, we are ready to go ahead and move on to the back. We have to put the redstone in, but first we want to come over here and place down a 2x2 of mud in our AFK chamber. We're then going to grab our hoppers, and this is going to be one of the weirdest collection systems you will ever see. We're going to place down a hopper pointing into this block right here. So we want to have a temporary block and then a hopper. Then we want to have a ice block right here, temporary blocks on both sides here, or actually those are going to be permanent blocks. We're then going to grab our droppers, and we're going to place down a dropper right here and a dropper right here. We can then go ahead and remove this temporary block, run a hopper into that dispenser, and then run a hopper into that hopper. So this is what it should look like. So on the rightmost closest mud block, we have a hopper running into a hopper, which runs down into another hopper, which runs into this dispenser. And over here, we want to have the same thing. So we're going to have a hopper pointing directly down and then a hopper pointing into the other dropper. So we have 2 droppers, which are going to be collecting the items and spinning them out into our sorting system. We're going to come around back here now and place down a 3x3 platform. We're going to grab our observers now and place down an observer right here and then an observer right here. We're going to do the same thing. I am the king of symmetry, so I choose to have 2 observer clocks. However, if you would like to just have 1 observer clock, you are more than welcome to do that. Now what we want to do is we want to place down our blocks here. So we're going to place down a block right here. And then we want to make sure that this is fully encased in a U shape. So this is what it should look like from the front now. That was pretty confusing. And after letting the cogs cool down for a little bit, we're ready to move on. So we're going to grab our blocks now, and we're going to place down 3 blocks going across this second layer of hoppers, just like so. We're then going to extend this out to have 2 3x3 platforms, and we're going to go underneath of these platforms with a single strip of blocks. Now again, if you want to extend this platform out so you're not, hovering like I am, that's probably a good call. I would make this platform a little bit bigger to whatever you feel comfortable with. We now want to grab our redstone torches, and we're going to place down redstone torches on the sides of these blocks closest to the hoppers so that they are locked. We're then going to come over here, place down a temporary block beneath that block, and then a block right there. Go ahead and remove that temporary block to kind of create this shape. I don't even know what you would call that, kind of like a backwards J. We're then going to extend this out, going all the way across. Remove the center block right there, so we are left with 2 of these shapes. We're then going to grab our repeaters, place down repeaters going into each of those blocks, which are powering those torches. grab our blocks again, place down blocks going across here, and we're going to remove that center block again, or you can leave them, it's really up to you. Now what we want to do is grab our comparators. We're going to place down comparators coming out of these hoppers right here, so 3 and 3. And yes, we are doing dual sorters here because I would like to have our storage accessible from the front. However, if you would like to have infinite storage just going across your entire thing and only doing one section of this, you absolutely can. And if that was too complicated and you didn't understand what I said, then honestly, this design is perfect for you. Now what we're going to do is grab our redstone dust. That was not meant to be an insult, by the way. Now we're going to grab our redstone dust and we are going to create redstone dust platforms, just covering the rest of this. And now we are ready to fill in our item sorters. But first, let's grab our blocks and we're going to place down blocks going up these pillars again. And then we are going to extend this to the other side. So we're going to create a 3-block strip on the end there. So that way our gold swords are going to get stuck on this last hopper. And again, if you want to smelt more of the gold swords instead of letting them despawn, then just add another super smelter right next to it. Now we are going to cover in the backside so that we don't accidentally flood our comparators in our redstone. And on the front here, this is completely optional. And of course, that's not in my inventory, but I like to use glass on the front. That way we can see our items going through the sorter. Again, we're just going to keep it going all the way to the last chest here. And that is the collection system done. If you want to throw a roof on this, you can. That is not the collection system done. We have to fill in our item sorters. So I'm going to grab the items and we're going to get going. Now to fill in these item sorters, instead of having to rename an item, I'm actually starting to recommend that we just use an item that we know will never, ever go through the item sorter. In this case, I highly doubt bees nests are going to be dropping from a piglin farm. So we're going to grab our golden nuggets. We're going to place down 5 golden nuggets in the leftmost slot. Then we're going to grab our bees nests or whatever filler item you want to use. Of course, bees nests probably aren't very achievable in survival mode, but any block will work here that isn't going to go through the farm. Now, if you want to stick with just renaming an item, you absolutely can as well. And this is what every single one of these sorters is going to look like. So if I go ahead and throw in another gold nugget, you'll see it gets sorted out and goes into the chest. Now I got to do this for the rest of these. We're going to do golden nuggets, golden bars, rotten flesh, and we're going to do the same thing. Golden nuggets, golden bars, rotten flesh. Okay, and with each of these having the items already sorted like they are here, this is what they should all look like. Again, use whatever filler item you want, and on the super smelters, they are just regular super smelters. No need to sort anything because all of the items that will go through the farm get sorted, so only gold swords will end up in these last 2 hoppers. So from here, we are going to grab our buttons, and we want to place down buttons in front of this ice block right here, this ice block right here, and then we want to grab our water buckets and place... Oh no, that was almost really bad. Place down a water bucket at the back end here, and then place down a water bucket in front of each of these buttons. So all of the items are going to get carried across here, and it actually looks really cool when it gets turned on because of the dual droppers. But this is the entire collection system done, and if you want to go ahead and throw a roof on this to make sure none of the items fall out, you absolutely can. So we're just going to go ahead and do that really quick. We are now moving on to the actual spawning mechanics. Congratulations, you have just built an item sorter. From the top here on our AFK platform, also, can we take a minute to appreciate the fact that this already looks like a complete build, and now we just have to build like an extension onto it? Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our pistons, and we want to place down a piston right here, which is going to be 1 block away from the edge. And then again, in alternating directions, just like this, kind of like a windmill. We're then going to grab our observers, and we want the observers to be looking into the corners of the blocks, just like so. And now we want to grab our redstone torches, place down the redstone torches on the sides of the pistons, just like this, so that it creates an observer clock. And this is basically going to blend the piglins into XP and their drops. We're now going to grab a target block and place down the target block next to that piston. Go ahead and throw down a lever on that target block, and then just go ahead and turn it on, so that way the trident killer stops moving. We can now grab our building blocks, and we're going to create a rim going around the trident killer, leaving a 2-block gap in the center here. And then again, we're just going to create another rim, this time covering that gap, so that we have a giant tube. And then we are just going to extend this so that it's 20 blocks tall. So we already have 3 blocks. So from here, we need to add 17 more blocks to the height. And after building your giant tube, we want to place down 2 slabs at the bottom of the chamber here. That way none of the baby pigmen can come out of the farm. Now we want to go over to our target block here and grab our redstone torches. Place down a redstone torch on top of the target block, and then place down a block on top of that redstone torch. And we're going to do this all the way up the farm until we get to the very top. Now, in survival mode, I know that this is annoying, but it is going to make the entire farm powered with a single lever, which makes it super convenient, and also you have a giant torch tower, which looks really cool. And once we get to the top of our torch tower, again, a 1 block gap so that we can still build our platform. We're going to come 3 blocks down on this block, place down 2 blocks right here, and then 8 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go ahead and place down a temporary block and then a block right there. Go ahead and set down a redstone torch and then a block, and then grab your redstone dust and run redstone dust going all the way across here. Now we want to grab our cobblestone, and we are going to build a 20 by 20 platform, and we're going to build 8 blocks in every direction. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Over here, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From here, we can connect up these 2 corners and create a 20 by 20 platform with our 2 by 2 hole for the drop chute in the middle. And with our 20 by 20 platform built here, we want to grab our blocks and create a giant rim going all the way around the farm. And we're going to do this with both regular blocks, and then we're also going to do it with stairs. And after placing down your rim of blocks and then your rim of stairs, this is what it should look like, but we're going to hold off on placing our water buckets for right now just to make the building process a little bit simpler. So we're going to place down a block of obsidian right above our torch tower, count over 4 blocks, and place down another obsidian. Another way to check that everything's lined up properly is it should be centered around the center of your farm here. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my cat is clawing at my door. He misses me so much. Then we're going to place down another block of obsidian, leaving a 4 block gap, and we're going to do the same thing over here, 4 block gap and a block of obsidian. So this is what it should look like now, and from here, we're going to create giant obsidian strips going across the farm to create giant 20 by 20 portals, which is going to give us lots of pigmen. So I'm going to build the giant portals. Again, these are 20 by 20 portals, so yeah. And after building all 4 of your portals, your farm should be looking rather impressive, all things considered. What we want to do now is grab our flint and steel, or if you're fancy, you can use a fire charge, and we're going to go ahead and light these portals to see which side of the portal our piglin spawns on. So they're going to spawn on the left side of the portal, which means we're going to build our lighting thingies on the right side of the portal. Such a technical name. So depending on the orientation of the farm, it could be different for you, so make sure that you know which side it is going to spawn on. Then we're going to go to this side, and we are going to place down 3 blocks. Go ahead and just remove that portal so that we don't accidentally walk in. And we want to make sure that it is 5 blocks wide. Now we're going to make this platform for every single one of these portals on the same side of the portal. And after placing down all 4 of your platforms, we're going to grab our dispensers. That's very important. Make sure that this is a dispenser and not a dropper. And we're going to place down our dispensers in the corners of each of these platforms. Now I'm just going to show you how to build one of these platforms, and then you can do it for the rest of these. But we want to grab our blocks now, and we're going to place down a block right here. Blocks going all the way across to this platform, and blocks going all the way across to the other side of the platform. We're then going to connect these up here, just like so that each of these dispensers are connected to this redstone line here. We're going to place down a redstone torch above this redstone torch, and then again, we're just going to connect everything up with redstone dust, so that way everything is powered and the farm is currently off. So that means that these portals will not be lighting and unlighting, so that is off, and then down here, the Trident Killer is also off, and we're going to have to go ahead and light that up in a little bit. Now we're going to grab our blocks, and we're going to fill in these blocks here, just so that everything is nice and neat. And in fact, we're going to do this for the rest of the farm. So we're going to make sure that there is 2 blocks going above each of these stairs. And when it's all said and done, this is what it should look like. Again, I'm just going to show you how to build one of these, and then we're going to replicate it 4 more times on each of these platforms. From here, we want to grab our blocks, and we're going to place down blocks going all the way across our platform, leaving a 3-block strip in the center here. We then want to grab our observers and place down an observer looking into the hole here, so that when we flip around, we see the face. Go ahead and place down 2 more observers here, so that way they are powering this dispenser. Go ahead and throw your snow bucket in here, and yes, that does unfortunately have to be a powdered snow bucket. I know it's a bit of a journey to find a mountain, but it is well worth the journey. We're then going to go ahead and place down a rim of blocks going around here, leaving a 2x3 platform with the observers in the front. Go ahead and grab your trapdoors, open up all of your trapdoors, just like so, and then place down your lava above these observers, which is eventually going to light our portal. We are now going to grab our blocks and place down blocks going all the way across here, and make sure that these 3 blocks are left open, so that way the lava is exposed to the air. So as you can see, our portal is lit, and now we just have to do this 3 more times on each of these platforms. And I am just now finishing up the final fire starter thingy. Again, very official name, and just making sure that these are all the same, which they are, and we now have all 4 portals lit. From here, if we come down, we can go ahead and turn this on or off. Actually, don't do that yet. Don't do that yet. We do not have our water in place, so this thing is going to get overflowed very quickly. And in fact, there already probably are quite a few. Yep. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to grab our water buckets and just make a infinite water source right here. So just place down a quick 2x2 of blocks, and then go ahead and waterlog these so that you have an infinite water source, so that way you can just grab your water, go ahead and waterlog a stair. And we're going to do this for the entire farm. And I'm pretty sure that these guys actually shouldn't even be aggroed at you, because they are not the regular pigmen. But if they are, just go ahead and wear gold armor and all should be well. And after placing down all of your water blocks, they should all be flowing down into the center now, and we can go ahead and grab our trident and go down to the AFK layer here. Go ahead and kill off any pigmen that are already in here, and they should all be 1 tap. And then just go ahead and throw in your trident. You can throw 2 if you want it to be a little bit faster. Just like so. I guess it wants me to only have 1. Okay, so throw in your trident and go ahead and turn on the farm. The trident is going to fall down. It's going to start killing things, and if we've come up here, you're going to see that our portals are flicking on and off, and all of the pigmen are going down into the farm. This thing is... there are so many of them. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to load up this thing with our fuel, so let's just go ahead and grab some coal really quick. Where do they even keep coal? I'm just going to search for it. Coal. Go ahead and grab a couple stacks, and then throw it inside of this chest right here. So that way it is going to load up, and all of the gold swords are going to get smelted here. If we come over here, you're going to see that they're all getting killed, and all of the drops are getting picked up and sorted through the sorting system here. You know, sometimes things that seem convenient actually end up causing headaches later on. I created these 2 commands to just kill items and kill sheep. That way I didn't have them eating all of my grass. But that is currently making the farm unusable. So let's just go ahead and get rid of those. And if we come up here, we should see that the farm is now working. After we slowly fly up and go ahead and turn it back on, you will see that the items... and turn it back on. You will see that the items are now getting sorted into the item sorter, getting thrown across, and then getting sorted into the various chests. The gold swords are getting over into the super smelter here, which are then getting smelted down into gold nuggets. And if we check here, you're going to see our gold nuggets are getting sorted. Our gold bars haven't dropped yet. Our rotten flesh is getting sorted out over here. More gold nuggets. So let's go ahead and AFK for about an hour and see how many drops we get and how many levels we get. Alright, just a little bit of transparency. I actually record my AFK sessions when I design the farms, but as you can see, an hour of AFK got me 100 levels. Exactly, this was a little bit more than an hour, but in that AFK session, I ended up getting about 95 levels, and all of these golden nuggets, all of these golden ingots, all of this rotten flesh, which could be traded with a villager, a cleric, all of these golden nuggets that accidentally skipped through the item sorter because I think that the droppers are too close to this first chest. But oh well, it gets sorted out over here. And then all of the golden nuggets from smelting down those swords. And again, Look at all of the swords that you could smelt if you wanted to build another super smelter. And if you want to collect the XP inside of these blast furnaces, it's super simple. Just press down on the levers here, which are going to lock those bottom hoppers. Once you have the golden sword there, it is going to smelt down into golden nuggets. I have no clue how a golden nugget got there, but as you can see, the golden nuggets are getting smelted and they get stuck in the blast furnace. You can then go ahead and grab your golden nuggets. And I'm a very high level, but trust me, you got the XP. If we go ahead and unlock them, we can go ahead and grab this one as well. Same thing. There's a golden nugget in there. If we go ahead and grab the golden nugget here, you'll see I also gain some levels. Again, microscopic levels because I have so many, but levels nonetheless. And again, all of our golden nuggets here. So overall, this thing produced about 1,000 golden ingots and over 100 levels in just about an hour. This is the best Enderman XP farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and it's going to get you over 400 Ender Pearls into level 30 in under 10 minutes, so settle in and let's build. The first thing you need to do is kill the Ender Dragon, that way the end gateway is open so you can return to your world. After doing that, we are going to find the edge of the end island. I would recommend coming to your spawn platform, and we're going to build 150 blocks away using leaves. That's very important. Make sure that these are leaves, that way no Enderman can spawn or walk on them from the main end island. And while a 1 block wide bridge is going to work, I would recommend a 2 block wide bridge. Next, we're going to grab our blocks and we're going to build out 3 blocks in this direction and 3 blocks in this direction. Then we're going to build out 6 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and connect this up to create a 6 by 6 square. We're then going to fill in these sides here, and we're going to fill in these 2 blocks, leaving a 2 by 3 hole in the center here, lined up with our bridge. We're then going to set down a chest in the center, and we're going to place down 4 hoppers running into one another, just like so. Place down 4 carpets on top of those hoppers. We're then going to grab our leaves and we are going to create a leaf rim going around here, and we are going to do 1 more layer just like so. We're then going to grab our slabs and we're going to place down 2 slabs on the top sides of those blocks, so you can crouch under here, and we are going to kill all of the Endermen here. Now for this next bit, we need to drop the Enderman 40 blocks down. So our Y level is 50, which means we need to get to Y level 90. Now you have one of 2 options. Option A is you could use regular blocks, replace these leaf blocks, and just fill in the entire thing with blocks, going 40 blocks all the way up. However, I saw Blazed MC do it this way, where we place down 2 temporary blocks and then a rim of leaves here, and I think that that is a lot easier because not only does it save on materials, but leaves are pretty easy to get by just shearing a bunch of forests. So that's how I'm going to do it, but if you would rather use regular blocks instead of leaves, you absolutely can. Just make sure that there are no gaps. And the easiest way to build these leaf layers is probably just to build up with your 2 blocks, then place down a leaf block, build your little rim, and then once you're on this level and you're done with it, we're just going to remove those blocks, go back into the corner, and we're just going to build up. But as we are on level 90, we're actually done with our leaf layers, so we're just going to build another one of our leaf layers, except we're going to use regular blocks now. And this is going to be the beginning of our spawn platforms. Once you have this little 4x4 with the 2x2 in the center, we are going to break that block, and we are going to extend out each one of these sides by 9 blocks. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to do this all the way around, and when it's all said and done, we should have a 20 by 20 spawn platform. And once you are done, this is what it should look like. As you can see, we have Endermen spawning on the edges because I was far enough away for them to spawn. We're going to place down trapdoors in the center here, so that is going to be 4 trapdoors. Go ahead and open them up, and you can see your little drop chute. But for now, let's just go ahead and close them so you don't accidentally fall in. Okay, this next bit is arguably the most difficult part of the entire build. So I'm in survival mode. We're just going to crouch and place down 3 blocks right here, and then a block to the side, and then a fence post, 1 block up, 1 block right here, 1 block right here, temporary block on the side, and right here, and right here. We're then going to build up on all of these sides, up right here. Same thing, we're just creating a little temporary box for us to play in. Block right here, jump up, block, block, and then finally a block right here, so everything is nice and contained. We're then going to place down our rail on this block over top of the fence post. That is incredibly important. This is the block over top of the fence post, which is where the minecart is going to fall onto. Next, you need your ender pearls, and I would recommend about a stack. there is a 10% chance of getting an endermite spawn, so maybe 2 stacks to be safe. And once we're ready to spawn the endermite, we're gonna need some food, a bunch of ender pearls, and of course a name tag to name him. So I'm gonna name mine Steve. All you're gonna do is grab your ender pearls and we're gonna throw them at the ground just like this. Make sure not to kill yourself with the ender pearls though, so we're just gonna sit here and wait to recharge some health. Once we've regained a bit of health, we can go ahead and try it out again, and we need that endermite. All right, and once you have your endermite, all right, if you're unfortunate like me and he immediately went into the minecart, it's not the end of the world. It's just going to make life a little bit harder. We need to destroy the minecart, go ahead and name him, make sure he doesn't get up here. Go ahead and place back the minecart, punch him back in, and there we go. Oh, this is so nerve-wracking. And now all we have to do is remove all of these blocks so that he is up here alone, and the endermen don't have the option to actually touch him. So we're just going to remove this block right here. Make sure not to break the minecart, and break this block, and then we can come down. Oh, I don't know if they're mad at me or him, but either way, it's scary. Okay, I'm a baby, so I went back into creative mode, but the point still stands. He should be in a minecart, and he should be named. It's very important that he's named, or he's going to despawn, and we did a lot of work to make sure that he spawned. So we're just going to push this guy in, because he is glitched, because he was... Oh, so now he should run off. There we go. This guy will get aggravated eventually, but this is the spawn platform done. So all we have to do now is grab our sword, preferably with looting 3 and mending, and we're going to come down here, and we are going to AFK so that the endermen fall down this kill chamber. We're going to kill them, and then all of the drops are going to end up inside of here. And like I said, if you take your sword and you make sure that it has mending, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't, but this is going to make it a little bit easier, so that way your sword doesn't break. And all you have to do is sit here. That's very loud. And collect all of the XP. Make sure that you're not standing on the chest right here, because then the enderman can actually hit you if they get aggravated. But again, all of the ender pearls are going to come down here, and as you can see, we're still having endermen fall in because again, they're aggravated at the endermite. I would recommend turning down your volume if you're going to be using this for a long time. That is very, very loud. But they usually come down and I can't get over how loud this is. They usually come down in waves like you can see here, and again, all of the drops are going to end up in this chest. Let's see if I can get one aggravated at me. Okay, well, I did get attacked earlier, so I would not stand there, but apparently you can. All right, I went ahead and set my levels to 0, so I have no XP, so we can see how long it's going to take me to get from level 0 all the way to level 30. I'm going to time-lapse the whole thing, and I am, of course, going to turn my volume down. Okay, so that actually came in at about 11 minutes and 30 seconds, but keep in mind, we're also using a mending sword, which is probably using up maybe like a minute or so of time. So I would say like a little over 10 minutes to get to level 30, which is not bad at all. And we almost have, well, we have an entire chest full of ender pearls, half a double chest. That is absolutely awesome. This is the ultimate creeper farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and it's going to produce over 12 stacks of gunpowder every single hour, so settle in and let's build. The first thing we're going to do is build 72 blocks into the air, and if you have coordinates enabled, you're just going to take that coordinate in the middle, so 64 plus 72 is 136, so we're going to place scaffolding all the way to Y level 136. And after building your scaffolding tower, we're going to take our blocks now and build a rim going around this top scaffolding here. Then we're going to extend this out on this side, bring it to a 4x3 platform. We're then going to build out by 4 more blocks, just like so. Then we're going to connect this up so that our total platform space is going to be 4 blocks wide by 7 blocks long. We're going to leave this 3x2 square here empty. And we're going to place down a double chest, in this front spot right here, and then run our hoppers into the back of that chest, just like so. Make sure that all of these hoppers are running into one another, that way you're not having any gunpowder get stuck in any one of these hoppers. Then to grab our mud and place down 4 blocks of mud on top of those hoppers. we're going to grab our blocks again and place down a rim of blocks going around the mud here, just like so. We're then going to grab our pistons now, and we're going to place down pistons in an alternating pattern. So let's place down a temporary block here, place down our piston, remove this block, and then we're going to continue the pattern just like so. We're then going to grab our observers, and actually first we're going to do our redstone torches. Place down redstone torches on the sides of the pistons in the corner of the trident killer, just like this. Place down observers running into all of those redstone torches, so that way the observer face is looking at the torch. And again, we're just going to do this for all of them. And after placing down all of your observers, we're going to grab our lever now, place it down on this piston right here, and if we go ahead and turn this on, you should see that it will fire once, and if we go ahead and turn it off again, it is going to start a piston clock, and this is going to be how we move the trident around. Next, we're going to place down a stair next to the scaffolding and next to that lever right here, and this is where we're going to AFK when we're using the farm. We're going to grab our blocks now and create a rim of blocks going around the trident killer here, leaving that one block open where we are going to AFK. In this spot, we're going to place down a slab, and then we're going to continue this up for 18 more blocks for a total of 20 blocks from the mud, so that we drop the creepers down so that they are at half a heart. So again, we're going to build up 20 blocks. And after building your drop chute, it should look something like this. We're going to take our blocks now, and we're going to extend this out by 8 blocks in every direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same thing over here. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From here, we're just going to connect up these 2 squares, and that is going to be our entire platform, which should end up being, I believe, 20 by 20 blocks. And after finishing this platform, we're going to take our blocks and create a rim going around the entire thing. Now, if you've built any of my farms that look similar to this should be a very similar process, because basically every single one of these mob farms or creeper farms, I use the same collection platform just because it works extremely well. And it's really easy to build. So we're going to place down that ring of blocks, and then we're going to place down a ring of stairs going all the way around here as well. But this is where things are going to get different, because this is actually going to be where the collection chamber stops. We're not going to completely encase this with blocks. Instead, we're going to build a roof over it, because this is going to be so tall. We're then going to take our water buckets and just waterlog every single one of these stairs, and just make an infinite water source up here. That way you don't have to constantly go back to the ocean to collect more water. And then once we're done filling this in, we are actually ready to start working on our spawn platforms. So we're just going to finish up this one wall here, and if everything is done accordingly and properly, you should have all of the water going right to the edge of the drop chute. From here, we're going to grab our packed ice now, and yes, you can use regular blocks. I think I said that in the materials list. And it's just, if you use packed ice, the farm is going to be significantly faster. So I would recommend resource grinding. That way you can get the best rates possible with this farm. We're then going to go around, and wherever the water flows, so see how it's like right on the edge, we're just going to go around and do that for the entire thing. Now, I'm assuming if you have all this packed ice, you also have silk touch. That is an important tip as well, because we're working with packed ice. If you don't use a silk touch pickaxe, it is just going to end up breaking, and then you're going to be wasting materials. So we're going to line it up. You can run around on this edge here. Oh, that was really close. I mean, I'm in creative mode, but that still gave me a little bit of anxiety. We're going to remove these 2 blocks. We're going to walk around the edge, do the same thing. Remove these 2 blocks, and same thing on this side, these 2 blocks, and finally these 2 blocks as well. From here, we can go ahead and connect all of these up to create 4 mini squares, which are going to be the spawn platforms. And when it's all said and done, we're actually going to have 7 layers. 7 layers to have the maximum rates. And when this thing is all said and done, it looks awesome. But now we're going to just fill in all of these squares to make sure that it is nice and flat. And then after that, we're going to use our trapdoors, but let me go ahead and fill these in. All right, now this is going to be pretty intense, but it is the same thing for every single one of these platforms. So I'm going to show you how to do 1 square, and then we're going to do it for the rest of these. And then we're going to do this 7 times throughout these layers. So we're just going to go ahead and place down trapdoors going all the way around the platform here. And then we're going to go ahead and open them all up. Now, in my personal experience, it is easier to place all of the trapdoors and then go back and open them all up later, which is exactly what I'm doing now. So we place them all, we're going to open them all, and then once we're done opening these, we are going, or I guess this is technically closing them. But then once we're done doing this, we're going to again take our trapdoors and we're going to place down 9 trapdoors kind of in a grid pattern just like this. And now we have to do this trapdoor pattern to the rest of the platforms. And after filling in all of the platforms with our trapdoors, this is what it should now look like. We're going to place down 2 temporary blocks and then a packed ice to remove these temporary blocks. Then we can create another one of these 7x7 platforms. Now I'm just going to show you how to do one of them, and then you can go ahead and do this to the rest. We're just going to fill in another platform, and this is actually going to be the spawn platform for the next level in the farm. So just keep that in mind. Once you have the packed ice in, we're going to take our buttons now, and we're going to place down buttons going all the way across this platform. Now, if you want, you can save a couple extra buttons by not placing them on the same levels as these trapdoors. However, I'm going to be honest, counting that is a little bit tricky, and buttons literally cost 1 oak plank. So I would recommend just using the extra wood to just fill this in entirely with buttons. But again, if you want to save a couple extra wood, you can leave a gap every time there is a trapdoor. And once you're done placing down all of the buttons, this is what it should look like, and this is actually a done spawn platform. So creepers could currently spawn on this and walk off into the void. Well, I guess not yet because we haven't covered the ceiling yet, but at nighttime, this will absolutely spawn creepers. And actually, if you want to not place buttons and just have this as a general mob farm, it will reduce the rates of gunpowder, but you'll have all of the mob drops. So that is something you can do. It's just not place these buttons. But again, this is a creeper farm tutorial, so we're going to keep building for creepers. And this is the entire platform. So we just need to replicate this a bunch of times. We're going to do this for all 4 of these platforms. We're going to do it 7 times. So this is going to be quite tall, and basically this is your trapdoor layer. So this layer is identical to this layer, except this layer has buttons. I hope that made sense. I'm going to build a lot of these now. These are the bottom 4 platforms, and this is all 28 platforms. And you might notice that after building all 7 layers, this top layer uses our regular building blocks rather than packed ice, and that is because that is the roof of the farm. So we're actually going to turn this into a giant platform to make sure, oh, it's all not loaded, to make sure that the entire farm is dark. So from this corner, we're going to count out 8 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to do the same thing over here. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to go ahead and connect up both of those corners to create a giant platform that is going to make this entire thing dark. And the way that it works is that when you have a block directly like this, this block actually has a light level of 0. So the block light level is 0, which means that mobs will spawn on it. However, because it is bright out, the mobs will not spawn on these blocks. But when we build out this platform to make sure that it is dark, the sky light level is 15. 15 minus 8 because of the way that the flood pattern with light works. So this edge block right here has a sky light level of 7, which is the minimum or maximum that is allowed when spawning a creeper or any hostile mob. So I thought that was actually pretty interesting. And as you can see, our platforms are dark, and any minute now they are actually going to spawn creepers. But we're not going to be spawning creepers yet. I mean, they're going to spawn because they're going to spawn. But for now, we have to torch spam the roof here because we don't want things spawning up here during the night, or it is actually going to reduce the spawn rates of the farm. And this is probably the ugliest torch spamming that has ever happened, and such a waste. But I'm sure you guys can figure out a better strategy for placing down those torches. All right, so you can see we already have a creeper there. If we go ahead and grab our trident, and then we're also going to have to get a looting 3 sword, but that is actually basically all we have to do. So we're just going to throw our trident at that back piston there. Back piston. The piston. There we go. And give him a knock. Give him a knock. I mean, it'll do it. But we just go ahead and turn on the trident killer now. and we now have a fully AFK-able creeper farm. I'm going to light this up with some torches, and I'm also going to grab a looting 3 sword. And by AFKing with a looting 3 sword, we are going to get even more gunpowder, which is going to allow us to get 12 stacks of gunpowder per hour. And as you can see, we're also collecting the XP from the Trident Killer, so you can go ahead and mend up some of your tools or just collect some of the levels, but all of the gunpowder is going to end up inside of this chest here. I'm going to go ahead and AFK for about an hour, and we're going to see how much I get. Plot twist, I already recorded the AFK session earlier, so I'm going to play that clip now. This is the easiest super smelter for Minecraft Bedrock, and it's going to smelt things up to 16 times faster, so settle in and let's build. Alright, this thing is actually extremely easy to build, and if you're concerned about the number of hoppers we're going to be using, then I would recommend building an iron farm and then coming back to this tutorial to build this super smelter, because I promise you, it is well worth it. The first thing we're going to do is grab our double chest and place down a double chest right here. Then we're going to grab our blocks and create a pillar that is 5 blocks tall. We're going to grab our stairs now and place down 2 stairs going over top of this chest. Then we're going to grab a redstone lamp, place it right here with a lever and then a block next to it. Next, you want to grab your hoppers and we're going to crouch place these. So we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hoppers here. We're going to leave a 2 block gap, come around the back here and connect them into this corner. So 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to grab our furnaces now, and we're going to place down 8 furnaces on the front here. Again, just crouch placing. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Now, I like this being a standalone structure, so you're going to be able to see both sides of the structure. But if you're only going to see the front face, then this really doesn't matter. But I like having all the furnaces pointing outwards. I think it looks a little better. We're then going to grab our hoppers again and place down hoppers running into the tops of each of these furnaces and the back of each of these furnaces, and we're going to do this for this other side as well. After placing down all of the hoppers, we're going to grab our building blocks now and place down a 2x2 of building blocks right here, and then 3 blocks across and 2 blocks right here. And then we're just going to fill in this wall as well. Whoops, just like that. We're going to come over here now and we're going to do a similar thing. We're going to place down our 2x2 and then connect this up with a C shape of blocks. Now, depending on the orientation you decided to build this super smelter in, it is going to behave differently with this end bit. If you built it in this direction, you are going to be able to just have your rails and they are going to work. But because we built it in this direction, which is up here, what happens when we go ahead and try and place in our powered rails is they connect and it gets all messy. So we have to place down some temporary rails to make it all work out. So we're going to place down a powered rail right here, break this block, place down a temporary rail. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to place down a powered rail and then a regular rail. And then right here, a regular rail and then a powered rail. And finally on this side, we're going to place down, we got to do this one first. So we're going to go ahead and grab our rails and place them as far as we can. Remove this powered rail, powered rail, temporary rail, powered rail. All right, and once you have all 4 of your powered rails on the edge here, we can go ahead and remove our temporary rails and place down cobblestone blocks or whatever building block you used. And to power these powered rails, we're going to use a redstone torch. We're going to come underneath of this powered rail right here, place down our redstone torch, and it's going to power both of these powered rails. Now these ones we don't want to be powered, we want them to be powered by the lever. So this is the on-off switch. We're now ready to set up the input and output system. So we're going to place down a hopper above this powered rail right here, grab a chest, place down your double chest right here, and this is going to be your fuel input. Then we're going to place down a minecart chest right here and a minecart chest right here. So now we are ready to go ahead and fill the system. I'm just going to quickly label these. And in fact, I think it makes the farm look cooler. So if you have the resources, I would recommend doing this as well. So that maybe if you have someone coming into your base, they know what to do. So that is the fuel, that is the input, and that is the output. So if we go ahead and fill up this chest now, we're going to place in our coal, and then we're going to place in our raw iron. Again, you can smelt whatever you want. If you want to have multiple of these, you could have one with smokers, one with blast furnaces, and one with regular furnaces. But of course, I think using regular furnaces is probably the most beneficial option. So as you can see, we're just waiting for our fuel to fill up into that minecart chest. And once all of the fuel is out of the fuel chest like it is here, that means it is all inside of this minecart chest, which is how we are actually supplying the fuel to all of these furnaces. So all there is to do now is go ahead and turn on the super smelter, and each of these furnaces is going to turn on in the exact same order. It looks so nice when it turns on, and each of these are going to be evenly fueled and evenly distributed with ore. So that is absolutely awesome. Whoops. And if we go ahead and check in the output chest, we're going to have groups of 16 coming in 2 at a time, or 1 at a time. Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, so as you can see, it's coming in groups of 16, basically consistently filling this chest. This is absolutely much faster than using just one furnace, and in fact, it is 16 times faster because there are 16 furnaces being used here. And after you have everything smelted, or once you're ready and like it's no longer distributing ore, because this thing definitely ran out of ore much quicker than it smelted things. So all you have to do is go ahead and turn off the super smelter. They're going to come around one final time, they're going to crash into this wall, and then they're going to be ready for your next input and output, your fuel, your ore, and then whatever you want to smelt. And yeah, actually, as soon as I finished recording that clip, all of the furnaces turned off in unison. And as you can see, they each have 10 coal and they have no ore. So everything was evenly distributed. This is the easiest cow farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and it's going to get you steak, leather, and XP, so settle in and let's build. The first thing you want to do is find an area that you're comfortable building the farm in, because this thing is going to be loud. I don't use sound, but if you do play with sound and you build this in the middle of your base, you might end up getting a little bit annoyed, so keep it close but far enough away that you don't have to listen to the constant splashing and the constant mooing of the cows. With that, we're going to dig out a 2x2 hole, place down a double chest in the front, and run 2 hoppers into the back of those chests. It is super important that your hoppers are running into the chest and not into the ground, so again, make sure that they're running into the chest. From there, we're going to grab our stairs now, remove these 2 blocks in front of the chest, and place down a set of stairs. We're then going to grab our blocks now and remove these 4 blocks, replace them with building blocks, that way we're not looking at any of the ugly dirt. We're then going to place down 3 blocks on this side, 3 blocks on this side, 2 blocks across the back, and we're going to do the same thing on this, except we're going to leave this block empty, place down a block right here, grab your dispenser, place down the dispenser in this hole, and then we're going to go ahead and place down a lava bucket inside here, and that is actually going to be how we kill the adult cows once they grow up from babies in this bottom chamber. Next, we want to grab our signs, and we're going to place down a sign right here and a sign right here. We're then going to grab our blocks again, and we're going to build up 3 blocks here, 3 blocks here, and then we're going to place down 2 temporary blocks just above those signs. From here, we are going to extend this out to be 2 blocks wider. We're going to extend this to create a hole, creating a 2x2 platform here. We're then going to grab our blocks again, and we're just going to finish this off, creating a giant lip. And then on the front here, we're just going to finish this off with a row of blocks. Inside of this hole now, we're going to grab our water buckets, place down 2 water buckets at the back of the farm. That way the cows are going to flow into the chamber. Every time you breed cows up here, the baby cows are going to go through an eventual slit. We're going to add that in a second, which is then going to allow the babies to drop down into this bottom chamber here. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our glass and we're going to fill in the front with our glass blocks. These don't have to necessarily be glass, but if you do want to see the farm in all of its glory, I do recommend using glass. Additionally, if you want to kill the cows with a looting 3 sword rather than using lava, simply remove these 2 bottom glass and replace it with 2 half slabs, which is going to allow you to kill off the cows down here. I would recommend using the lava though, because you get cooked steak, but if you want to trade the raw beef with villagers, you can absolutely do that. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to go ahead and replace that with normal glass. We're then going to grab our stairs. We're going to place down a stair right here, a stair right here, and just create a staircase going all the way up. Now this part is optional, but I do just think it looks a lot better if we go ahead and fill all of this in. It makes it look like a sturdy build rather than just kind of thrown together. So just fill in that wall, and we already put our lava bucket in here, absolutely, so let's go ahead and cover that as well. And the last thing we have to do is go ahead and place down an oak button here, and when we go ahead and press it, it's going to dispense the lava, wait for it to get to the other side, and then click it again, and it's going to retract the lava. That is the killing mechanism, but now we have to get our cows in here so that way we can breed them. So I'm going to go ahead and get 2 cows up into this chamber. And doing that really couldn't be any easier. I've gone ahead and grabbed my wheat. I'm going to go up the staircase. They're going to go ahead and follow me. Come over to this platform here, and then just simply nudge your cows into the reservoir. And we already have a baby cow, but I mean, it's going to eventually grow up. Oh, I just fell down. Let's head back up here, and then let's just go across. And this process, well, that guy just walked right in. So perfect. Once you have 2 cows in here, at least 2 cows in here, we're going to grab our fence posts and place down 4 fence over top of the cows, remove that fence post, and now they're going to bob a little less, which is going to make it easier to breed them. But now all we have to do is go ahead and breed the adult cows so that we get more cows. And once we have about 50 cows in this upper reservoir, or however many you deem fit for your device, because lower end devices are going to have a lower mob cap, meaning that the more mobs you have, the laggier your world. So keep that in mind if you are on a low end device. But again, the more cows you have up here, the more steak and the more leather you're going to get from the farm. So we're just going to breed these guys up until we have quite a few, and then we're going to have to, well, we'll get there. And after breeding up your cows, it should look something like this. And again, I don't play with sound, but if you do, this is a very noisy farm. The next thing we have to do, and the last thing we have to do, is we have to replace these temporary blocks that are blocking off the water with our signs, so that way we can start having the babies drop down rather than just keeping the babies up here to breed them into more adult cows. So the best way to do that is, unfortunately, just go ahead and break this block. You might have some baby cows. I managed to wait so that there are no baby cows, but we're just going to place down a sign right there. And unfortunately, I didn't think this one through, so we're going to have to remove one of our glass blocks and go ahead and place down another sign right there. And just like that, we now have a working farm. Go ahead and replace that glass. And all we do now is take our wheat, come up here, and just breed up our cows, and then all of the baby cows are going to fall down into that bottom chamber. And we're also going to collect all of the XP from breeding the cows. And if you're using a looting 3 sword, then you are also going to collect the XP for killing the adult cows down in the bottom chamber. But once you have them all breeded up like I just did, you'll see that all of the baby cows are going to eventually fall down here. And when they do, we are just going to go ahead and rebreed these cows about every minute or so, which is going to allow for just insane cow rates. So every 20 minutes, a baby cow should grow up into an adult cow, which means that we can breed these guys about 20 times before we have a single adult cow down here. And if we do this for an hour, we are going to get plenty and plenty of cow. Steak? Beef. Cooked beef. No, steak. And after breeding them for literally like 20 minutes, you should have something that looks like this. Tons and tons of cows up here, all ready to be bred. Again, about every minute or so, they are going to be ready to breed. We're going to collect all of the XP. If we come down here, you're going to see that we have the adult cows, some baby cows, and some more XP. If we go ahead and press the button like I showed you earlier, we're going to press it, wait for it to hit the other side, and then immediately press it off. These cows are eventually going to die due to the fire, and then all of the drops are going to end up inside of here. And as you can see, we have the steak, we have the leather, and that is quite a few drops. So with about 20 minutes of passively farming these things, we managed to get 46 steak and 29 leather. And again, if you did choose to use looting 3 instead of cooking the steak automatically, you would get even more steak and leather. But yeah, this is an amazing farm. And look, I'm sorry, you guys probably already know your fate. And if you went the other way and you want to trade with a villager, then simply replace this bottom glass with our slabs, and we're just going to go ahead and kill all of these cows with our looting 3 sword. If you had sharpness on this, then you would get even more, and no need in killing the babies, they're not ready to be harvested yet. But as you can see, I guess this is an addition to what we got, but I mean, there were way fewer cows and we got 32 raw beef. We can go ahead and take that, go to our butcher, and just trade that up for some emeralds and some XP. So if you're looking for emeralds, then this is also a pretty easy way to get those. And to get your villager in here, just have a torch, have a smoker, and make sure that there's a bed nearby. This is the easiest sorting system for Minecraft Bedrock using the brand new copper golems. So settle in and let's build. When it comes to materials for building this system, there are 2 sets of materials. Each copper golem is going to need a certain number of blocks for these little cubbies, and then there's also this component here, which is the input system, which you're going to need to build regardless. But if you want to have, say, 3 different segments, then you're going to take the materials on screen and you're going to multiply them by 3. All right, not only is this thing incredibly easy to build, it's incredibly easy to expand. So I'm going to show you how to build one segment, meaning like 9 chests, and then I'll show you how to connect up another segment, and it is incredibly simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by placing 2 blocks right here, and then 2 blocks right here, and 4 more blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, which is going to give us this backwards J shape. From here, we're going to come to this block, count over 3, so this would be 3, so 3 blocks of air, and then a block right here. Then we're going to grab our copper chest now, place down a copper chest like so, grab your hoppers now, place down 3 hoppers going across, and then 3 more hoppers, just like this. This is going to be your input chest. So I actually used a copper... I don't know why I used a copper chest there. This can be a regular chest for your input, and then we're going to place down blocks going across here, just to encase this and make it look nice and pretty. Place down a stair there, and then blocks going across here as well. To avoid having any baby zombies spawn, it's very unlikely, but let's just place down a row of blocks going underneath of those hoppers, and then we're going to finish this wall off just like so. We're then going to grab our chest now and place down 9 double chests on the front here, just like this, and we're going to do 9 of those in a 3x3 grid, set 1 block back from the front of our input chest. And in fact, if you want this all to be equal, you could just move your input chest up 1 block. I like to have my input chest popping out a little bit though. We're then going to grab our stairs, and we're going to place down 3 stairs going across the tops of these chests, and we're going to place down 3 stairs going across the backs of those chests. We're going to grab our blocks again, and again, let's just fill in underneath of those hoppers, place down a block right there, and then we're just going to place down a giant wall to keep everything nice and contained, just like this. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down a block right here, a block right here, a stair right here, and then a block on top of that hopper, and then blocks going across here. And you know what? We might as well just fill that in as well. So this is going to be where our copper golem goes. All right, and the last thing we need to do inside of this chamber before we get our copper golem is to place down 2 walls here, so that way they can't reach over into this area. Trust me, that's going to come in handy later. This wall is pretty important. We're then going to place down a copper block right here and a carved pumpkin on top to create our copper golem, just like this. He's already in that chest. He's looking around for items to sort out. So now is the step where we would label these chests with whatever you want to sort out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and show you how it all works. All right, I'm going to try my best to make this make as much sense as possible, but the best way I can put it is make sure that if you want to sort out diamonds, you have at least 1 diamond in here, because this copper golem is going to look for 10 chests. So we have 9 here, and he is going to sort out diamonds, iron. You get the point, right? So those items are going to get sorted out. However, if he can't find a chest that has any of these items, then he needs an empty chest to put them into. So we're actually going to remove this block and this block. We're going to place down a double chest right here, remove this block temporarily, and we are going to get our, okay, wait, actually, let's place down 2 blocks right here and then 3 hoppers. And this is, again, the beginning of the next module. So this is like the output. So these are going to be the, any of the items that he can't sort out are going to go inside of this chest right here. So if I gave him, say, item frames, they would end up inside of this chest, which are then going to go into these hoppers, which would then be sorted out into the next module, and eventually they would make their way over to your overflow chests. If you're only going to be using 1 set of walls, then I would recommend having a chest system like this, for example, or you know, like this, and just having your hoppers run into these chests, because then these are your overflow chests. If you had one of these front 9 chests as an overflow chest, so let's say that this one was empty and there was no more amethyst shard in here, as soon as something goes in here, so if I put a grass block in here, this is no longer an empty chest. If I gave him item frames, they would not end up inside of this chest. I would need to have an item frame in this chest as well. I hope that made sense. So it's very important that you have that overflow there, to keep everything nice and contained and keep it from breaking. But again, I'm going to add another module on here. But if you were just going to build one module, make sure you have some overflow chests. All right, now everything is sorting and we can go ahead and test the system using these items. All right, I've made these chests a little bit more realistic. So over here, we've got our wood chests. We're sorting out different types of wood. We're sorting out stone. We're sorting out mob drops. And then of course, we just have my random chests, which are sorting out diamonds and things. But as you can see, this is a little bit easier to use than a traditional multi-item sorter, because instead of having to fill in all of the blocks, you can literally, if you have, you can't do the double click thing. If you have any amount in this chest, then it is going to be sorted. So because there are oak logs in this chest, even though there's empty space, nothing is going to end up inside this chest except for oak planks, spruce planks, birch planks, and oak logs. I really should have thought this one through. I'm sure there's a faster way to collect those. So I'm going to throw in our planks, our flesh, our whatever. Well, I guess those won't go through. Actually, you know what? That'll be a good test for the overflow. So he's not going to know what to do with the amethyst shards or with the prismarine shards. And let's just throw the resin brick in there as well, because he's not going to have those. So you can see he's already opening chests to figure out where to sort. And I'm not exactly sure what he had grabbed, but I'm just going to sit here and wait for him to sort through everything. Again, these are our overflow chests. And an interesting fact is that the copper golem can only pick up 16 items at a time. So he's only going to pick up 16 items from the chest and put them away at a time. So I'm assuming he put away some wood, and you can see he put away the oak planks. I'm just going to let this run out and I'll show you when it's done. All right, and as we ramp down, he is sorting out his last item, which is the amethyst shard. So it is going to he's going to open up this chest, which is going to flow into the overflow chest. I'm just going to wait and see if I can get there. This is the only part that is a little annoying, is that he doesn't exactly remember where things are stored, so he has to open every single chest once again. But there we go. He has just gone ahead and put the amethyst shard away. He's like, oh no, there's nothing else for me to sort. All of the overflow items, the resin brick, prismarine shard, and amethyst shard are down here. All of the mob drops are sorted, all of the rocks are sorted, and all of the logs are sorted as well. So this thing is incredibly awesome, especially early game, to have a sorting system like this. I wouldn't consider this particularly expensive. I mean, it contains maybe 10 or 12 hoppers. But I think this is super awesome, especially 9 double chests. This is literally starter game tier. I would not recommend this if you have, mountains of items. I would still recommend using a regular multi-item sorter with the fancy chests and things, because if you have any more than say 2 sets of chests like you do here, things get very slow, very fast, because for every copper golem that you're using, it basically makes the system 1 out of 9 times, or 9% slow. It becomes much slower because, again, this guy doesn't know where items go. He's just opening chests at random. So to have 2 of them, you're relying on this guy to sort items that aren't in these chests, to then go into the overflow chest, to then have this guy sort them again, which takes a long time. So if you were to have 3, by the time items got over here, it might honestly be 30 minutes. So again, if you're sorting out large quantities of items, any more than 2 of these systems, I would recommend going with a an old school multi-item sorter or just a regular sorting system. But for starter games and for cute little, storage systems, I think that this is actually awesome. I love that Mojang has added the copper golem. I think he works really well. And to just be able to throw, if I threw stone brick in here, now he's going to sort stone bricks in here. I don't know. I'm very happy with it. This is the easiest gunpowder/witch farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and it's going to produce around 6 to 8 stacks of gunpowder along with a ton of other drops, so settle in and let's build. The first thing we're going to do is find a witch hut, and the easiest way to do that is to type in your seed into Chunkbase. It's going to tell you where all of the witch huts are on your seed, and once you have one, we're going to go inside and we're going to place down a block in the center of the witch hut, and then remove these 3 blocks and replace them with building blocks. Next, we're going to remove the entire witch hut. After getting rid of the witch hut, we're going to go ahead and grab our blocks again, place down a block right here to finish off that 2x2, and place down a glass block on top of this building block. Go ahead and remove that block now, and we're going to grab our blocks again and create another rim of blocks going around the 2x2 to make a 4x4 platform. And to make the process a little bit easier, we're going to go ahead and remove a 6x6x2 block hole here, so we have room for our trident killer and stuff. If you're enjoying this tutorial or it's helping you out, then be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Now back to the video. After removing the blocks, this is what you should be left with, and now we have to pick the front of the farm, aka the side that's going to have the collection system. Now, I want the items to be coming out this way because, you know, we have a nice little biome here. Might as well use the hill. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to this block right here. So one over from the side. We're going to come underneath, and again, one over from the side. Grab our pistons, and we're going to place down a piston on the ground. We're then going to place down a piston right here, and finally right here. So that there is a 2x2 square in the center here. We're then going to dig out a 3 deep hole here. So 1, 2, 3. Grab a hopper and run it into that block right there, which is underneath of this piston. We're going to place down a rail and then a minecart hopper. We're then going to come over here and we're going to dig out a little staircase so that way we can see this hopper. We're going to grab our chest now, place down a chest right here and a chest right here. And then we're going to grab our stair and place down a stair that's upside down so that way we can open up this chest, which is going to be, again, where all of the drops end up. We're going to come up here now and we're going to place down a building block above the minecart hopper. And just for the sake of everything matching, we're going to remove those 3 blocks, and this is going to be the floor of our trident killer. The next thing we're going to do is grab our observers, and we're going to place down an observer looking into this piston, and then an observer looking into that observer, an observer looking into that piston, and I think you guys get where this is going. We're creating an observer chain so that they are all looking into one another. And then finally, an observer right here. To complete the system, if we go ahead and grab a lever now and turn this on, it's going to start the piston clock, and if we turn this off, it is going to just continue forever. So this is going to be the trident killer on, and this is the trident killer off. So we're going to temporarily remove this lever and grab our building blocks now, place down a rim of blocks going around the farm, just like this. And what this is doing is it's going to keep all of the light out because witches need it to be extremely dark. That's why we're using extra observers rather than redstone torches. We can now go ahead and place down our blocks going around here to cover everything up. And then we're going to grab our lever and we're going to place the lever exactly where we had it before, except this time on this block. So you can either place it on the side or on top. I'm going to place it on top here. If we go ahead and lock this now, it is going to stop the trident killer. So we're going to go ahead and break this block. You can see that the trident killer is currently off. If we go ahead and flick the lever, you can see that the trident killer is now on. So we're going to turn it off again. We're going to go ahead and grab our trident, and we're going to go ahead and remove these 2 blocks now. Throw your trident at one of these piston faces, and then we can go ahead and turn the trident killer back on, and you'll see that the trident is getting pushed around, and this is going to be how we kill all of the witches. Let's go ahead and turn this back off again now so that everything is nice and locked up. We're going to go ahead and grab our blocks now, and we're going to place down 2 more rims of blocks going up to the same level as the glass. And then after that, we're going to place down a 4x4 of blocks on top of this platform right here. So this is what the structure should now look like. Next, we want to make sure that nothing is spawning on top of the farm. So we're going to place down leaf blocks going all the way across the top of the farm here. And then we're going to place down more blocks on top of those blocks to make sure that nothing is going to spawn up top. From here, we're going to go ahead and grab our scaffolding, place down 3 scaffolding, and then we are going to place down 24 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. After building 24 blocks up with scaffolding, we're going to grab our building blocks now, and we're just going to create a slightly larger platform. That way you're not teetering on the edge of falling off. And if you're playing with phantoms, then I would recommend also boxing yourself in, so that way they can't attack you in the middle of the night when you're AFKing here. And then again, we're just going to build ourselves a little roof just like that. Whoops, just like that. Or you could put a chest up here. So that's going to be where you AFK. So currently there should be witches spawning. It might take a little bit longer than that to get started, but we're going to head back down here. Now, currently it is a little bit confusing whether or not the farm is on or off. So we're actually going to make this a little bit simpler, and we're just going to move the lever down here, remove this lever, And we're going to place down a redstone torch and then a redstone lamp on top of here. So if we go ahead and turn this off, the farm is currently off. So if we go ahead and open up this, you'll see that the trident killer is not moving. And when we go ahead and turn the lever back on, the trident killer is now on. Now I know that redstone lamps are a little bit expensive, but I already sent you into the nether to get observers. So making a redstone lamp really shouldn't be the end of the world. So the farm is currently on. The farm is currently off. I really like redstone lamps, and I think it does add quite a bit to the farm. So right now, all of the drops are going to end up in here, and in fact, we already have killed a couple of witches, but we have not gotten any gunpowder. So let's go ahead and AFK up here for an hour. And unfortunately, because this farm won't work in spectator mode, and I have to be far enough away to actually have the farm work, I can't really do a time lapse for this one, but I'm just going to come back in an hour and we're going to check to see how many drops I got. And don't forget to have the best rates. We're going to go ahead and enchant a sword with looting 3, and this is going to get us the absolute maximum rates for the farm. Alright, unfortunately I have to go, so I can't do a 1 hour time lapse, but it's been about 10 minutes now with the looting 3 sword. So if we go ahead and check out what we've got here, you can see even with just 10 minutes, we have got quite a lot. In fact, if I went for an hour, we wouldn't even know because I only have 1 chest set up. So if you're going to use this for a long time, I definitely recommend having multiple chests. But as you can see, in just 10 minutes, we created over a stack of gunpowder, and I believe this is 71 gunpowder times 6 is 7 times 6, 420 something, 426 gunpowder, I believe. That might be wrong, but at least 6 stacks every single hour, plus all of this other stuff. We've got redstone, instant health potions, sticks, glowstone dust, sugar, all of that fun stuff. In fact, all of the resources required to make a redstone lamp are going to be produced here as well. But yeah, so this is an absolutely incredible farm. This is the easiest slime farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and it's going to get you over 500 slime balls per hour, so settle in and let's build. Alright, so the first thing you need to do is open up Chunk Base and locate a slime chunk on your seed. You're just going to paste your seed in, find a slime chunk near you, and then record the coordinates. So for me, one of my corners is -192, -97. So we're going to come over 1 block to -193 here, and we're going to dig down all the way to Y level 23. It should also be mentioned that this farm might not work in a snow biome, and it definitely won't work in a sand biome or a desert biome or any hot biome, so a savanna. And that's because we're using snow golems and we're using a water source block, so I'm just a little bit hesitant to recommend you build it in a snowy biome because the water may freeze. So I would recommend building it in, a neutral biome like a plains, jungle, ocean, whatever. But once you've done that, the next thing we're going to do is mine out our slime chunk. So in this case, we need to go to the X level of -177. So I'm going to mine over to -177, and then we are going to go back to where we were. Let's go over to our door now, and we are going to dig over to, I think that's the Z coordinate, and that is going to be to -112. Your coordinates are, of course, going to be different, whatever your slime chunk is. And then we're going to connect this up to create a giant square, and we're also going to raise the roof so that it is 3 blocks tall. Don't worry about this light right here once you've mined out your chunk, because we actually are going to light up the entire thing right now. So we're going to go ahead and place down a torch 3 blocks over, leave a 2 block gap. Same thing over here, 3 blocks over, 2 block gap, 2 block gap. Now, there is no really particular reason for using that number of torches. I just like to have my torches equally spaced out in something like this. So we do the same thing, 3, 2, 2, and same thing over here, 3, 2, 2, 2, 3. And finally over here, 3, 2, 2, and 3. There we go. Now that this place is totally nice and bright, we are only going to be having slime spawn here. There aren't going to be any other hostile mobs spawning. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the side that has the door, so this wall right here, and we're going to remove a 3x4 on these center torches right here. So in the center of the room, 3 blocks by 4 blocks, and we're going to dig down by 3 blocks. So we're going to clear out this space right here, and then we are going to go ahead and replace the floor with magma blocks. So let's go ahead and place down our magma blocks now. Whoops, let's place that back, just like so. We're going to leave this block open, and we're going to place down a hopper, or you could do this side. It's really up to you. You know what, actually, let's do this side so it's closer to the door. So whatever side is closer to the door, we're going to place down our hopper, take your magma blocks, and we're going to fill magma blocks on the floor. We're then going to place down our water bucket, and then place down a fence post over top of the hopper. And in fact, you could probably place down that water bucket and fence post after placing down your last piece of magma and doing it outside of the hole. That way you're not in a pit with magma blocks forced to crouch to not take damage. Next, we're gonna go over to our door, and if you already placed down your scaffolding like this, then don't worry, instead of breaking the block underneath, we're just gonna mine over one block. But if you haven't placed your scaffolding yet, or if you have ladders, then that's great because we are going to continue our thing down. We're going to go down 3 more blocks, so 2 and 3. Mine over 1. Again, if you did place your scaffolding already, just make a second scaffolding tower. And if you'd prefer to do that anyways, then you can do that as well. We're then just going to keep mining over until we find that hopper, which is right here. So we're going to place that block back. We're going to mine out these blocks right here. And actually, let's move this down 1 more layer, just like that. And then if you want to have 2 high ceilings, you can do that. Just that way, you know, you can come in here, and this is going to be our collection room. Next, we're going to remove these 2 blocks right here, replace them with stairs or some sort of transparent blocks. That way you can open this chest. And then all we're going to do now is we need to mine, so that would be this block. So 24 blocks from this block. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, count 24. And now you're just going to add some torches to taste however bright you want it. Just make sure it's not dark enough that monsters can spawn. And that is going to be where we AFK. The last thing we have to do is we need to, again, you know, you'd have your scaffolding or your ladders. And what we need to do now is remove these blocks right here and put a snow golem inside of the wall. And to do that, it is extremely simple. All we're going to do is place down our fence posts right here. We're going to remove these blocks as well, place down 2 snow blocks and a carved pumpkin, and that is going to summon our snow golems. So now any slimes that spawned are going to be aggravated at the snow golem and jump down into the magma down here. All right, so I actually just went up to the surface to place down all of my scaffolding, and as you can see, the snow golem is actually throwing snowballs at the slimes. And that's a little bit problematic because it's going to slow down the farm ever so slightly. So all you have to do is throw 2 slabs over top of there, and now the snow golem can no longer reach the slimes. Now, the awesome thing about this is 1 level. This is perfectly content. I don't know what the rates of this are. I'm going to guess quite a few slime balls. But let's say you have a massive project, you need tons of slime blocks, you want to build a bounty house or whatever. All you have to do is replicate this exact same thing on the next layer. So if we go up the scaffolding, you're just going to remove these blocks right here. Oh, no. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you. If it does, you're going to have to replace that scaffolding. But all you're going to do is clear it another layer, and you're going to replicate this exact same thing. The only difference is that instead of having all of this components down here, you're just going to have a drop chamber, but still make sure you use the snow golem. But if you do choose to only have 1 level like I am here, and I'm going to be honest, for most use cases, 1 level is going to be more than enough. But if you're on a server with a bunch of people, like I said, and you need tons of slime, then you might want to build a couple more layers. I have it strategically built on Y level 23, so that way you have room for 4 more layers, because if your structure is any taller than 4 layers, you're actually not going to be spawning very many slimes on those upper layers because they're going to be out of the spawn distance. But all you have to do is stand here and AFK, and all of the slime balls are going to end up inside of this chest right here. So I keep forgetting. This might be a really weird thing, but I hate the fact that sheep spawn and eat grass. So in all of my tutorial worlds, I place down 2 command blocks, 1 that kills sheep and 1 that kills all tile entities. So I always run into this problem where I forget I placed down those command blocks, and then the drops end up dying. So the slime balls are currently getting killed, so I'm going to go remove those command blocks, and then everything should work. Alright, and all that's left to do now is sit at the end of the tunnel and AFK, so I'm gonna go AFK for about 10 minutes, and then we're gonna see how many drops I get. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes, I just set a timer and it went off, so let's go ahead and check to see how many drops we got during that time. And as you can see, we got 53 slime balls, and we've got some more, 55, see another one dying there, 56, 58, 59. Alright, so as you can see, you can expect around just under a stack every 10 minutes. Which is going to be about 6 stacks an hour using just 1 of these layers. If you were to have even more layers, then you would, you know, get more rates. All right, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, then be sure to subscribe and leave a like. My name is OneUpMC, and I'll catch you in the next one.